Hello people, welcome to Just Genius. Literally, just genius. In today's video, we'll be talking about percents. First, we're gonna break down the word percent. Per cent. And actually, the word cent actually means 100 in French. So it's per 100, practically, in practical terms. And per is equal to for every or out of. So if per means out of and cent means 100, then percent indirectly means out of 100. And I'm gonna write that down right there. Percent means out of 100. This is crucial. You have to remember this through the whole percent unit you're having at school or whatever. You need to know that percent means out of 100. So we're gonna start with an example. 10 out of 100 or 10 over 100 is equal to 10% because it's 10 out of 100 and out of 100 is percent, so 10%. That's correct. Now 36 over 100. Well, using what we just said, it's 36 out of 100, so that would be 36%. Percent meaning out of 100. In other words, this is just writing 36 out of 100 with a symbol. 73 over 100. That is equal to 73%, obviously, based on what we just said. Okay. Well, why do we have to use percents? Well, it's easier for people to identify with the basic number 100 as a denominator. It's just easier. If you know basics about fractions, we're going to give you an example of reducing here. 10 over 30. How can we reduce it? Well, we can find a common factor, which is 10. First, I'll write the answer, 1 over 3. And since the common factor is 10, 10 divided by 10, and 30 divided by 10. 10 divided by 10 equals 1. 30 divided by 10 equals 3. So that is our reduced form, our simpler form. They're still equivalent, remember. Okay, now with an example that doesn't have a denominator of 100, we're gonna find a percentage. 3 out of 25, we need to get the denominator to 100, and 25 times 4 equals 100, so times the numerator and the denominator by 4 to get an equivalent fraction. So first, 3 times 4, which equals 12, and 25 times 4, which equals 100. Since it's 12 out of 100, we're gonna write that down, 12 out of 100. And we all know that out of 100 is the same thing as percent. What we also learned was percent can be written as the symbol. So we're going to bring 12 down there, and it's going to be 12%. What we just did was we found a percent for 3 out of 25. 3 out of 25 is equivalent to 12%. This is correct. Just to keep it going, we'll go with another example. Okay. What should I do? 25 out of 50 into a percent, of course. I'll write that again because that doesn't look that neat. 25 over 50. Well, first, we need to get the denominator of 50 into 100. So what can we times 50 by to get it to 100? We'll write an equation similar to this. 50 times what equals 100? We can flip-flop this equation and do 100 divided by 50 equals what? So I'm going to write that down. Equals what? And you can think about this, but I'm just going to write it. It's 2, obviously. It's 2. So then we write the 2 in the blank. So now, since that's our number that we're going to times both the numerator and the denominator by, we're going to do that to make an equivalent fraction with 100 as the denominator. So we'll erase that question mark. 25 times 2 equals 50. 50 times 2 equals 100. This is 50 out of 100. And if you had been paying attention to anything I said, out of 100 means percent. And percent can be written as the percent symbol. So then we're going to bring that 50 down here, and it's 50%. That is correct. Now, what we just did was 25 out of 50 is equal to, or equivalent to, 50% exactly. But since we know how to convert a fraction into a percent, let's learn how to convert a ratio into a percent. Well, first we'll start the basics. 3 to 5. Okay, so equals. We're going to make an equivalent one where the second part of the ratio is 100. This is practically saying 3 for every 5. And taking time to write that there. 3 for every 5 blank. So 3 blank for every 5 blank. For every 5. We have to make the say for every 100 instead of for every 5. Since per cent means out of 100 or for every 100, in order to convert 3 to 5 or 3 for every 5, we need to make it say for every 100. So how do we get 5 to 100? Well, we're going to write 5 times blank equals 100. And we can reverse this equation. For 100 divided by 5 equals what? Well, 100 divided by 5 equals 20. And I'll write that down there. That answer, 20, is what we're gonna divide. It's what we're gonna multiply 3 and 5 by. So 3 times 20 and 5 times 20 to get us an equivalent ratio. That's 60 to 100. In other words, this is 60 for every 100. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. For every 100, if you've been listening, for every 100 is the same thing as percent. So for every 100 equals percent. And again, we learned that percent can be written as the percent symbol. So you bring the 60 down there. Instead of writing 60 for every 100, we're going to write 60%. What we did was 3 to 5 is equivalent to, right there, 60%. And that is correct. So 3 to 5 is equivalent to 60%. Let's do another ratio example. Just a simple ratio example. Okay. This one we're gonna do 8 to 20. Now, we already went through the basics. 8 for every 20, right? That's what we know for sure. Equal to. And in order to find a percent, instead of 8 for every 20, we have to make it 8 for every 100. Right? Let's put that in brackets. 100. But it's not 100 right now, it's 20. So how can we make 20 to be 100 while using multiplication? Well, we do 20 times what can give us 100. In order to figure this out, we can flip-flop the equation, as I've been saying. So 100 divided by 20 from there is equal to, well, we know the answer is 5, and then I know that's correct. So if 5 is there, that means we can put 5 there. And if 5's there, that means we can get 20 to 100 by multiplying 5. So we're going to do that for the numerator and the denominator. Times 5 times 5. So 8 times 5 equals 40. 20 times 5 equals 100. This is exactly what we want. 40 for every 100. This is our ratio right now. And we know for every 100 is equal to percent. And percent is equal to the percent symbol. So we know inadvertently we could put the percent symbol there, and that's equal to 40%. In other words, let's write that down here. 8 to 20, I'm gonna write that there, is equal to what? It's equal to 40%. And that is right. Just to write it in bigger, 8 out of 20 is equal to 40%. Do we get what I'm talking about? Yeah, yes, no, yes, maybe so. Okay. I'm gonna write some notes. Okay. So let's take notes again. What we've learned so far. Percent equals, now we know it's not just out of, but it's also for every, right? That's new info, right? Out of, for every, and then 100, of course. And what else did we learn? We also know a ratio can be converted to a percent. We learned that, right? We also learned a fraction can be converted to converted to a percent. What's something we didn't cover? Well, we didn't cover how to do the opposite. So basically, how a percent can be converted to a ratio. Let's do that real quick. So I have 67%. So don't forget to write that percent symbol. I want to make that into a fraction. So how would I do this? Well, percent, or the fraction obviously, means out of 100. So then we bring that 67, so that reads 67 out of 100. So if we put that down, 67 out of 100. There you go. That's our fraction. So we can write that right here. And as you can see, there's no reducing needed because they have no common factors, so you don't need to reduce. Let's try that again. 82%. Well, we already know that means out of 100, so this means out of 100, and that has 82, so we bring that down here. That's our fraction. So to put that as a fraction, that would be 82 over 100. Now, for this one, you can actually reduce, and when you go higher grades, there's going to be reducing, and you're going to have to do it. So we have to find a common factor between the two, which is pretty evident. If you don't know what common factors are, I'm going to make another video about common factors. But for now, let's say common factor, easy one, easy. You can literally tell just by looking. That's a 2, right? You can easily divide 2. So we're going to divide by 2 and divide by 2. 82 divided by 2 is 41. 100 divided by 2 is 50. Can we reduce any further? Is there any common factors? Let's think for a while. Do you think there's any common factors? No, there isn't. No common factors. So 82% is equal to 41 out of 50. That's necessary. You have to know how to do this. And now, how do we turn a percent into a ratio? Well, same thing goes for fraction. So let's say 67% into, or let's use equal signs instead, and we want a ratio this time. What are we gonna do? Well, we know that percent means for every 100. So we could just drop that 67 down. 67 for every 100, meaning 67 for every 100. So there, right there, that is our ratio. Just as simple as that. That is our ratio. And I know that is right. Now, let's get a little more practice on this. Let's go with 23. Nope, my bad. 42%. 42%. And now we're going to turn that into a ratio. Well, how do you do that? Well, we know that this means for every 100. So we can just drop that 42 down there. 42 for every 100, which also means 42 for every 100. Now, we can write that right here. 42, 100. But can this be reduced? Yes, it can. And there's a very, very simple number that this can be reduced by. If you can't get it, it's 2. So we're going to divide that by 2. And if you didn't learn how to reduce ratios, then you can go to another video that I'm going to post soon. 42 divided by 2, that equals 21. 100 divided by 2, that equals 50. Can we reduce this any further? Do you think? No, so that's our final ratio, meaning 42% is equal to 21/50, or 21 to 50.